Are you happy? Look at you.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm 7 years old and right now I've been living with my brother, Magnus. He's my little brother.
Hi. And do you want to tell us something about you?
Well,
What do you love doing?
I like doing
Okay,
Magnus!
Okay.
Don't press this. I got you. Maya got you.
Hi. So in my last video I spoke about how I addressed my health by changing my lifestyle, and I'd love to talk a bit more about it. So I suffered from chronic asthma since I was a child. I believe I was 2 years old. I have to confirm with my mom. I might have been younger when I first had my first big asthma attack. It was an interesting journey. I spent almost 20 years of my life taking medication that was really affecting my health in other ways. So I had a lot of side effects. I suffered from these tremors whenever I took the steroids. I also had issues with weight. I remember whenever I had to take more steroids, then my weight would just puff up. I'm not sure if it was like water retention or if it was an increase in fat deposits. I'm not really sure. I was young, so I wasn't really self-aware back then, but it definitely did affect. It didn't show too much because I was always very active, so I always loved sport and I always loved dancing. It was interesting though to see how dependent I was on medication to be able to fulfill my passions for sport and dance. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. In hindsight, I would have probably enjoyed it much more had I been following this lifestyle from the start, but I'm just happy I actually found it. I did have to go to hospital often and to a clinic often. My mom often had to wake up in the middle of the night and take me to a clinic to get immediate care for an asthma attack that I was having. So it wasn't pretty for her to have to deal with that. I don't think it's I think as a parent you don't want to see your child suffer. When I was really young, I think I was 3 years old, we were in Denmark visiting my dad's family, and my mom took me to a reflexologist to kind of ease with the symptoms of the asthma. And yeah, she kind of recommended to my mom to cut out dairy from my diet, and she did. And well, my symptoms, my asthma actually went into remission then. So I don't know why I started eating dairy again, but yeah, then it came back once I started eating dairy. And that was kind of like, I was like, you know what, I think this will work. I think if I cut out dairy, if I cut out all animal products, I think I'll be on the right path, on a healthy path. And I did that, and within a week I stopped taking all my medication. I actually haven't taken medication since, like even throughout pregnancy, like I haven't taken anything since then. So it's been quite a wonderful journey, and I'm really, really happy. And if anyone out there is suffering from asthma or respiratory issues, just try eliminating any animal products from your lifestyle, and you'll find that you'll have way more energy. Like even exercising, it's like a breeze. Before it was imagine running with like 15-kilo weights on your ankles, and then all of a sudden you remove them and then you can just run forever. That's what it feels like, changing your lifestyle. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. And it was quite an interesting journey because I think I went through a detoxification period. So like the first few months of my plant-based journey were detoxifying. Yeah, I also suffered from acne and skin issues, so, and that all cleared out now, so it's pretty amazing. But I remember in the first few months, my asthma had gone immediately, but I remember my skin breaking out, and then all of a sudden it just cleared out. So it was pretty cool. I thought that was awesome. But you see, you have about what, 7 layers on your skin, so the whole skin layers have to kind of resurface, and that takes time. So this is why all your body is eliminating all that toxic waste, and your body eliminates toxic waste in different ways and forms, and the skin is one of them. Now I practice something called mindful eating, so I truly am able to listen to my body, and I really do listen to my body and understand exactly what it needs, and that is when I eat. And it also indicates, like, listening to my body also indicates to me what I need to eat, and that's really helpful. I think it's really powerful to be able to have that communication with your body and understand exactly what your body needs and how much it needs. For the first few months, actually first few years, I used this app called Chronometer. You could use the free version, which is really great. So I literally documented every single meal. Anything that I ingested was documented there, including like my exercise routine. And it tells you exactly all your micros and macros. And that way you get a really good understanding of your nutritional intake. It's super important to understand exactly what food contains. And yeah, it was eye-opening actually using that tool. Then once I kind of got a grasp of it, I stopped using it, and now I practice mindful eating. So I eat when I'm hungry, and I eat what my body wants me to eat. The only thing I supplement is B12. Right now during this pregnancy, I'm also taking like spirulina, so I add that to smoothies. I think it's also because my body wants it, so I just listen to it. So I add, yeah, I love greens in smoothies. I am not the biggest fan of eating them. I do enjoy a salad once in a while, but I mainly take my greens in a smoothie. I do opt for smoothies more than juices because you get it's more nutritionally dense and you get all the fibers as well. Feels better for my body. Was it tough transitioning? No, it was actually not tough transitioning for me personally, but that probably had to do a lot with the fact that I was also living alone. Being able to make my own decisions when it came to food and food preparation, that helps, especially when you're changing and shifting your lifestyle. I think solitude is very important. I did then eventually go back living with my parents because I moved country and I went back to the country where my parents were staying. I think that was harder for them than it was for me because they couldn't understand it. The reality is, like, when you have a kid that suffers from chronic asthma, the whole family suffers. Like, my mom had to wake up in the middle of the night and just take me to hospital because I was having an asthma attack. Okay, so that's not pretty for that's not a pretty sight for any parent. Having my mom see how positively it impacted my health helped. Although I think social conditioning dictated otherwise, so that made it difficult for her at first. Now, after a few years have passed, like, my family is definitely more embracive and actually have taken on aspects of the lifestyle themselves, which is nice to watch, and it's nice to see their transformation. And you know what? They shine and they look brighter, which is so nice and so, like, beautiful to see. So if there's someone out there who's listening to this and saying, I'm not sure if I want to give this a go, the reality is there's really nothing to lose. I mean, let's say you just sign up for Chronometer. It's free. There's the free version, which is just as good as the paid version. You actually don't need the paid version. The free version is quite amazing, and all you have to do is list down or input the data of everything you eat. So it will let you know the intake of your micros and macros, and it's pretty foolproof way of understanding what you're eating. I no longer stress myself out about how much I eat anymore, and I do practice mindful eating, so I really do listen to my body and understand what my body needs in a very intuitive way. I think I've also managed to heal my microbiome throughout these years, which is pretty important. That really helps. There's this connection between the brain and the gut, and most people don't know. This should be like mandatory schooling. Like, people should actually learn about this in school. I wish I knew about it back then, but unfortunately it's not part of the most curriculums. I'll put some more information and links in the description below, so that you guys can check it out a bit more. So I feel the need to point out that both my pregnancies have been plant-based, and I've had a great first pregnancy, and I'm having also a great second pregnancy. I think in my first pregnancy I didn't even have any nausea, nothing. In this pregnancy, the first 3 months, I was nauseous a bit, but not to the point where I ever threw up. Never threw up. So I did feel nauseous, yes, but I didn't throw up. And I also have a feeling that that has nothing to do with my lifestyle, but has more to do with the fact that I experienced my first trimester of this pregnancy during a pandemic, and on top of that, we were at the epicenter of an earthquake zone, which was quite intense. And it probably also has a bit to do with the fact that I'm carrying a girl this time around, so maybe that has something to do with it. If there's anything else you would like me to share with you guys, just let me know. Yeah, you can comment, or you can just send me a message privately as well. I'm happy with that too. At least one person can have a better life by watching this video. It would make me really, really happy. I'm actually not the only one who has like healed and cured myself by changing my lifestyle. There are quite a few testimonials out there, and they work. Yes, they do. Yeah? Happy? Okie dokie, nice.